Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Church in Fall River, Massachusetts. And we are here in prayer with Reverend Lisa Wood. Lisa Perry Wood. Thank you.
Good morning. Such a pleasure to be back in Fall River again. My name is Reverend Lisa Perry Wood. My pronouns are she, her. And my bio is actually in your order of service, so I'm not going to go through that. But if you want to know one thing about me, it's that I love the ocean and the beach, which you'll know when you see my stole. You'll notice I have all kinds of ocean things on there. So I'm going to invite Richard to come forward and light our chalice. Thank you, Richard. And these are the words of Amy Carol Webb. From the world's trouble and pain, today may our lamp light the way for those who know no refuge, that we may open our minds, our arms, our hearts, our mouths to sing, come, come, whoever you are. Wholly new and wholly true. So now please rise as you're willing or able. And before you rise, actually, I'm just going to say that this hymn, number 38, which is Morning is Broken, we're singing this morning, as Donald suggested, in memory of Reverend David Rankin. It was his favorite hymn. And it's also a Gaelic melody, so we're singing it in honor of St. Patrick's Day. So rise as you are willing and or able and sing hymn number 38. Now, please turn to our affirmation, number 471, and we'll say that together. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God. And now, Donna will bring the microphone around if you have any announcements.
So good morning, everyone, and happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm Irish. So silly.
My mom was short like you, and she was Irish.
So welcome, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm looking forward to the word you're going to share with us. Give us a little inspiration for the week. And I'd like to let everyone else know that next week, Vera O'Brien will join us. She hasn't been here in a while as well, so do come and make her feel welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. It's lovely. This morning, the journey that we'll explore is the one that we take within, our own spiritual journey. Now, it has been said that religion is something we all do together, like worshiping and fellowship and community here each week. Spirituality, on the other hand, is something that we each pursue for ourselves. We each find our own unique path into what moves and touches us deeply, what inspires us, what we find sustaining. When those two intersect, religion, expressed in worship and fellowship, and our own sense of spirituality, that is a beautiful thing. But each of us needs to find our own way. to allow ourselves to be moved, to enter into each experience fully with open hearts and spirits. We begin this morning with these words by Stuart Kestenbaum. This is called Holding the Light. Gather up whatever is glittering in the gutter, whatever has tumbled in the waves or fallen in flames out of the sky. For it's not only our hearts that are broken, but the heart of the world as well. Stitch it back together. Make a place where the day speaks to the night and the earth speaks to the sky. Whether we created God or God created us, it all comes down to this. In our imperfect world, we are meant to repair and stitch together what beauty there is. Stitch it with compassion and wire. See how everything we have made gathers the light inside itself and overflows. A blessing. Dear friends, welcome to this time of worship where we offer gratitude for the simple blessing of being together. This morning we have a story that is a traditional story of the Lakota people. Once upon a time, a man was walking along the lakeside on a bright, calm, sunny day. He stopped to gaze at the lake and saw in the still water his own reflection, and he was fascinated by what he saw. Is this who I am? He pondered to himself. The next day, wanting to remind himself of this marvel, he returned to the lakeside. But overnight, the weather had changed. A strong wind now ruffled the water, and his image seemed distracted and disturbed. Is this who I really am? He wondered. The next day, he went to the lake, but now it was raining. His reflection was blurred and indistinct. It seemed that a very confused image of himself stared back from the water. Time passed. One day, an enormous storm blew up. Eager to see the lake in this weather, the man went to the shore again, and this time the image he saw reflected was full of anger, raging at the dark skies. Is this the real me? He asked. All the while, the sly fox Iktomi had been watching. The man heard a low chuckle from the bushes and turned to see the fox laughing at him. You foolish human, said the fox. You are looking at what is merely a reflection of who you are, changing with every passing mood of the weather. How can you believe this is the real you? But where is the real me? Said the man. Come back here in the depths of winter, and you will find who you are, said the fox. So time passed, winter arrived, and the lake froze solid. And the snow fell, covering everything surrounding the lakeside. The man returned and gazed at the pristine whiteness of the silent lake. There is no me in the lake anymore, he said to the fox sitting beside him. Exactly so, said the fox. Now you can no longer settle for these passing images or projections of yourself. The lake is an empty canvas. It invites you to become the person you truly are. Look inside your own heart. Look deeper than your passing moods. There you will discover who you are. Now we'll share a responsive or antiphonal reading. I'm going to do number 536, which is actually a poem by our beloved Mary Oliver. And I will read the regular font and invite you to read the italicized font. I'll give you a minute to find that. Every morning the world is created. Sun, heat ashes of the night turn to beams, and fasten themselves to the high branches, and the ponds appear like black cloth on which are painted islands of summer lilies. It is nature to be happy. Swim away along the soft trails of flowers. Imagination lead. And if your spirit carries within it the thorn that is heavier than lead, if it's all you can do to keep on trudging, still see this shadow is exactly what I wanted. Each pond with its blazing lilies is a prayer heard and answered lavishly every morning. Whether or not you have ever dared to do that there, whether or not you have ever dared to pray. Now we'll move into a guided meditation. So make yourselves comfortable. Settle in, closing your eyes or softening your gaze, and tune into your breath. Notice your breath without trying to change it. Notice if you feel tense or relaxed without trying to change that either. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Continue to take deep, full breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, or whatever is comfortable for you. As you breathe, become aware of the state of your body and the quality of your mind. Where is your body holding tension? Do you feel closed off or shut down emotionally? Where is your mind? Is it wandering? Or is it at home within the breath? Is your mind at ease or filled with restlessness, negativity, and doubt? You might place both hands over your heart and continue to inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Ask yourself, how does it feel to place my hands over this tender area, this place where I experience love for self and others? Let your breath become more smooth and effortless, and begin to breathe in and out just through your nose. Feel the flow of air moving into your lungs and then back out into the world. With each exhale, imagine you are releasing any negative thoughts that may be lingering in your mind. Continue to focus on your breath. On each inhale, think, I am worthy. And on each exhale, I am enough. Let each inhale draw in self-love, and each exhale release what is no longer serving you. I am worthy. I am enough. And just take a few moments to breathe and recite this mantra internally. I am worthy. I am enough. Notice how you feel as you say these words to yourself. If your mind wanders at any point, know that it's okay. It's the nature of the mind to wander. Simply bring your attention back to the breath. Notice how your thoughts come and go, whether positive or negative, and simply allow them to pass on by like clouds floating in the sky. Now visualize yourself standing in front of a mirror and look into your own eyes. What do you see? Pain and sadness? Love and joy? Neutrality? Regardless of what appears in the reflection, tell yourself, I love you. You are beautiful. And you are worthy of happiness. Know that what you see in the mirror in this moment may be different from what you see the next time you look. Imagine now that you could breathe into your heart and visualize love pouring out of your hands and into your heart. Let this love warm and permeate you from your heart center, filling the rest of your body. Feel a sense of comfort and calm traveling up through your chest, into your neck and head, out into your shoulders, your arms, your hands, and then down into your ribs, your belly, your pelvis, your legs, and your feet. Allow a sensation of warmth to fill you from head to toe. Breathe here for a moment and know that love is always available for you when you need it. We'll just sit for a couple of moments of silence. Amen. And now please remain seated to sing hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. Nancy, thank you again. Beautiful music this morning. Look into your heart Look deeper than your passing moods. There you will discover who you are. The journey we each take into ourselves, the search for spiritual depth and deeper meaning in our lives, is sometimes a journey with accompaniment, like the fox and the man in the story we heard. But ultimately, spiritual meaning is something we explore and discover on our own. Now, some of us may find that the journey leads us more deeply into love for ourselves, appreciation of our own goodness and self-worth. What a beautiful message that is, if we're open enough. And at the same time, each person needs to be able to receive that. We hear all too many messages that shame and devalue our bodies, make our intellect into a competition, and cause us to question our own experiences. Each of us deserves to find our own path, to honor our own truth without judgment or comparison. The right path is the path that feels right for you, whether that's traditional spirituality, organized religion, or an alternative path. However Spirit speaks to you is the right way. In recent years, we've seen how the Christian right seems to have taken ownership of God and religion. There are those who would have us believe that if we don't follow their God or their narrow set of beliefs, many of them filled with prejudice and even hatred, then we'll go to hell or be locked out of heaven. There are even some who consider Unitarian Universalism to be the work of the devil. Imagine that. Our commitment to social justice, our strong sense of dignity and respect for all life, our dedication to love as a guiding principle, all of this is seen by some as liberal extremism. But we, as UUs, we have held fast to the side of love, the side of the immigrant, of the disempowered, our siblings in prisons, our black and brown family members, protection of the hurting planet, and much more. Our principles are spiritually based values. And they are not so far from the teachings of Jesus, the Buddha, Muhammad, and other spiritual leaders. Our UU sense of spirituality, the basis of our faith, is deeply intertwined with social justice. These are not two separate things for us. When we are on the side of love, we are also on the side of justice. For UUs, our religion is about spirituality and social justice. They are not two separate pursuits. Maybe we need to say that louder and more boldly and not let the beliefs of the religious right co-opt religion. Several years ago, I started working with a spiritual director who happens to be a Zen Buddhist priest. I knew I needed something to deepen my own sense of spirituality, and other practices had just not really felt like a fit for me. At first, I had no idea how to use that time of spiritual direction. I felt a kind of numbness when I thought about my spiritual life, even embarrassed about my own uncertainties. I was filled with shoulds from my childhood Episcopal upbringing, uneasy about finding my own spiritual path. I eventually decided to try sitting meditation, both with a small group, a sangha, and also on my own. It wasn't easy. It was sometimes boring or frustrating as my body fought sitting still and trying to follow my breath. If you've tried it, you know what I mean. I found my mind was often restless and filled with thoughts, ideas, plans, just unable to settle and be. A lot of self-judgment crept in. But I kept at it. And eventually I heard a story from someone who had attended a large meditation retreat. They were in line for lunch when behind them they heard two voices. The first one asked, "How was your practice this morning?" And the second one said, "It was terrible. I was distracted, full of intrusive thoughts, and I just couldn't settle down the whole time. It was torture." The person in line looked behind them and saw that the speaker was Jack Kornfield, a nationally known author, speaker, and one of the leading teachers of insight meditation. It can be that way for any of us, he thought. It still feels like torture for me sometimes, but I've found that on most days, my morning meditation, along with walks in nature, is a reliable source of connection to my inner self and to a boundless sense of peace. Staying with this practice in the company of other seekers has grounded me, given me a greater sense of spaciousness in my life and a deeper connection to all that is. At the same time, the journey within the pursuit of our own sense of the spiritual, that can be a scary one. In my own spiritual journey, many uncomfortable feelings come up, and I don't always want to deal with them. Often, when emotions arise, as Mark Nepo tells us, we are so unused to emotion that we mistake any depth of feeling for sadness, any sense of the unknown for fear, and any sense of peace for boredom. It can be challenging to encounter so many feelings in our search for meaning. As in our meditation earlier, you may notice that you feel anxious or closed down, or restless, negative, even doubtful. When we keep ourselves still and turn our attention inward, everything comes up, and that is not always easy. And that's why for some of us, it's good to have company on this journey. Most of us, quite naturally, try to avoid our own problems, but soon enough, like everything else, they arise in meditation. And the truth is, our spiritual growth depends on confronting them and working through the suffering they cause. Following a spiritual path takes discipline, love, personal devotion, and grace. Without these four elements, say spiritual teachers, we risk not only spiritual emptiness, but also the mental health problems that can come with it. Discipline, love, devotion, and grace. Embracing these four qualities, it said, leads to better health, better mental health, better relationships, and a richer life. The best path in life, says Deepak Chopra, begins by abolishing the separation between worldly and spiritual aspirations. Such a path brings experiences of love, joy, truth, beauty, divine presence, or whatever else you call higher and spiritual. In other words, the best path in life aims for the goal of wholeness. Being human is complete and whole when we're not self-divided by conflict, confusion, frustration, and the constant demands that pull us in opposite directions. The only way to lead a whole and complete life, Chopra goes on, is to be whole and complete yourself. This, finally, is the best path in life, which can be called, for the sake of simplicity, the path of the self. It's a lifelong quest to discover who you really are. And one of the great discoveries that dawn on this path is, I am enough. Being here is fulfilling. To know that you are enough and that your inner potential will unfold daily in profound ways is transformative. But transformation can't be a goal. Rather, it is the fruit of being on the path of the self. In the words of poet John O'Donoghue, another Irishman for St. Patrick's Day, unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure, hold nothing back, learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. In the end, don't depend on others for spiritual inspiration. Find what inspires you. Look inside more than outside. Find what is right for you, your own personal pathway to spiritual connection. Like the man in the Lakota story, we can each find a reflection of ourselves in the frozen winter lake, which invites each of us to become the person we truly are. Look inside your own heart, says the fox. Look deeper than your passing moods. There you will discover who you are. Beloved friends, may your journey be filled with ever-widening discoveries. May it bring you peace, joy, and always a deeper love for yourself and for all that is. May it be so. Amen. Blessed be. And now we invite your generosity for our offering. Now we invite you to share your joys and concerns, and Donna will come around with the mic for that.
Thank you. Alan Powers. Of course, I'm interested in the world, global warming, et cetera. But I was alarmed this week. I don't know if you saw on the oceans a rise in temperature, enormous. I'm not exactly sure why. Some of it may have to do with their cutting back on sulfur emissions on ships, because the sulfur would get into the atmosphere and deflect some of it, stuff like that. It's just bizarre, some of it, but it's just terrifying. You wonder if my grandkids will see the world still alive.
So, I'm getting my joy of selling my home. We've now narrowed the day down to a one-day estate sale, which will be on Friday. Don't even know the time. I assume it'll be like 8 a.m. till 4 or 5 p.m. So if any of you want to take away some stuff and add it to your stuff, Friday is the day when we talk to folks to remember the hurricane of '38 and your mother's favorite clothing store, Cherry and Webb. So that's the address, 38 Cherry and Webb Lane in West Point. I'll have another update on Sunday because the sale will have passed. And then it's going to be figuring out what do I do with the stuff that's not sold. Probably there will be a transfer of that stuff to Fall River, my Fall River house, and then we'll have a state sale too. I got another house full of stuff. So that, I guess, is a joy. A real concern, though, is that in our very beautiful neighborhood, where we used to have neighborhood meetings here, and we did get recognized by an national group that is doing America the best neighborhoods, largely because of the energy that's here, because of the churches and cultural venues and the architecture and the beauty of the area close to the river, and it really is quite a nice neighborhood. However, it's a neighborhood that's been struck with tragedy again this week. An 18-year-old boy on his way to the Resiliency Preparatory School was shot and killed as a result of a drive-by. Not too many months ago, this White House, right to the side of us, also had a murder of a young man. And there had been a store owner at a little corner store who was killed within a few months past. And there have been others. So it's a great concern. I suppose if there were energy enough to get going with another gathering of the neighborhood to talk about this, I think that would be helpful. So if anyone wants to take a stab at reorganizing our neighborhood association, I challenge you to do that. I do think at least we need to be considering what's happening in our midst around this building.
So I'm so glad that we sang one of David Rankin's favorite hymns this morning, but I have to tell you that this is a joy. That I loved him singing "Go to Heaven for Us" every St. Patrick's Day weekend, or whatever the Sunday before or after. And so today I miss him. And wanted to mention
That is so true, because that song that we started off the morning was I was bringing his services to Tiverton, and that when we left here, we would go to his house, and I would do a performance. He would do a performance, and I would record it, and Morning is Broken was one of his songs that he played on his guitar. And no matter what he did, he got choked up, he was very emotional about it, but he loved playing that song on the guitar.
Thank you, Don. Lisa, I grew up on marginal lands between the Lakota and the Sioux. The Lakota and the Pawnee back in the Midwest. And my great-grandparents homesteaded, essentially stole the land from the Lakota, the truth be known. Why do I bring up Native Americans? On St. Patrick's Day, Native Americans had very little resistance to alcohol, and they're not able to drink safely. And I, for several years now, have been a member of the 12-step group of Alcoholics Anonymous. And we met yesterday at Island Park, several of us that were reminiscing about what life was like in Newport on St. Patrick's Day. Partying is endless, and there are folks waking up just now that wonder what they did last night. But I was hoping we could have a prayer or maybe extend our energy. We know our energy expands way beyond our physical body. Have some concern for the folks who are drinking themselves to oblivion because they are suffering. And thank you.
Well, my other joy and concern I didn't want to pass up on him was, today is St. Patrick's Day, which David had sung that song, and he had brought me to tears when he performed that at his house, because, Danny Boy was just one of those things. All the Irish songs he used to love doing all the time on his acoustic, even though sometimes his voice was there, but it was not. The other joy and concern is that, I got to sit down. So tomorrow I'm going for my, hopefully, surgery, getting this thing with my hernia and my shoulder and my heart situation. So I'm working on that, and those are concerns for me because what my next step is after that. How do I go on beyond that? So April 20th, as we all know, is going to be the day of David drinking here at the church. And I'd like to say thank you all for being here and blessing David on this good day.
We hold all the joys and concerns that have been shared close to our hearts, as well as those that are still kept inside, and pray that they find peace. And now please rise as you're willing and able and join in hymn number 163, For the Earth Forever Turning. Thank you once again to Nancy for beautiful music, and thank you, Donald, for supporting our recording this morning. And I'll invite Richard, if you would, to extinguish the chalice. Sorry about that. As we close together this morning with these words of Franz Kafka. You do not need to leave your room. Remain sitting at your table and listen. Do not even listen, simply wait. Be quiet, still, and solitary. The world will offer itself freely to you to be unmasked. It has no choice. It will roll in ecstasy at your feet. Beloved friends, take all that we have shared this morning out into the world. Be a blessing to all those you meet, and may you yourselves be blessed. Amen. Oh